So, folks, we got to talk about ICE in Minneapolis. It's genuinely just been an insane past couple of days. It's unhinged what's happening here. The lies being told, the just open hatred being visited upon families and neighbors here in the Twin Cities has been basically no one who is currently here living through this is ever going to forget what the federal government has done. They are never going to forget what Donald Trump has done. They are never going to forget the violence and hatred of these secret police. And I do mean like secret police here. The presence of ICE in this community is it's difficult to put into words what's happening here. Here is just 30-40 seconds of Mayor Fry talking about some of the effects ICE is having in the community and how they're going about doing what Donald Trump and Republicans sent them here to do.
Over on 3rd Avenue, there was an ICE action that took place. An individual from a car that was in the middle of a pretty significant street was detained. They left the car in the middle of the street. The car wasn't even in park, and so you've got this vehicle that is just rolling down the street with nobody in it. And it wasn't a Waymo. This was a car that was rolling down the street that could have hit anybody, including my own family members that live not too far from there. And so this is not about safety, clearly. If this was about safety, you wouldn't do stupid things like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's genuinely insane. Like, at this point, ICE needs to be arrested. Like, it's not even like, oh, well, they're just doing their jobs. You need to let them do their jobs. They're like leaving cars to continue driving down streets with intersections without drivers and just like saying, job's done, time to go, as they like lock up family men and like screaming babies. Like it's genuinely disgusting. I am going to share with you here that one of the places that has been doing a lot of work to show solidarity with people in the community has been a place called Rectangle Pizza. It's a pretty prominent pizza location. It's on the corner of a pretty prominent intersection in the city, very heavily trafficked. A lot of people walk around there. A lot of people drive around there. It's busy basically all the time. And after what happened with Renee Good, they decided that they were going to do something good for the community. 2,291 pizzas sold between Thursday and Sunday. 2,291 pizzas will be made and donated as quickly as we can. This week has spread so much love and friendship, and we couldn't be more grateful. And they want to donate these pizzas to folks who are, huddled in place because they are afraid of ICE or afraid that they could be, roughed up or, disappeared. We've got people running into homes as door dashers because ICE agents are suddenly trying to disappear them while they're out doing their door dashing jobs. It's really, really wonderful that Rectangle Pizza did this, but they were the victims of political retaliation from ICE just today. Here is a video of people running up to respond to ICE in the area. There are children. This is Rectangle Pizza here on the corner. They gassed the middle of the intersection. Look at how many people are there. And those aren't just people who are there to be protesters. Those are people just doing their daily jobs, going about their daily business. Look at how it's impossible to see across the intersection because of all the gas. They're here ostensibly to protect us while essentially just gassing random people in intersections.
throw gas and move?
Like, it's disgusting. If you want to see a better, you know, how this all played out, here it is from across the street from a different angle. You can see the entire altercation. ICE just pulls up right there in the middle of the street. They get out in their goddamn, like, LARPy camo bullshit. And they go over to try and raid the pizza restaurant that has been doing nothing but good for this community. And they go to the wrong door. This door doesn't open. And because they're all stupid morons, they weren't able to read the signs that say go in on the corner entrance. But they're just there to be thugs, to rough up local businesses that they don't like. And as you can see, it's not like there were a bunch of protesters around here, by the way. It's just people driving by in their cars, getting out and filming. It's people walking by on the street, stopping and pulling out their phones and responding. No judicial warrants, no warrants of any kind, by the way, to break into this business that they were trying to break into. Look at these stupid bastards having to walk back to their car, like, while being shamed by a bunch of people who can all see them for the dipshits they are. Rectangle in general was closed today because they were out of supplies, because they made so many pizzas for the local community. Even stupider. I was unaware of that part, Nine-Tailed Witch. Thank you for that additional piece of info. These stupid bastards were trying to raid a closed restaurant. This isn't like a bunch of organized protesters. These are just people who happen to be on the street. And while this is all very scary because I live and work extremely close to this location, it does fill me with some degree of hope that so many people in the area were so prepared for ICE to show up that they instantly were able to push ICE back and out of this area. And you can see, like, everyone is staying far away from these guys. No one's harassing them. No one's doing, like, they're shouting at them, yes. But no one's, like, laying a hand on these guys. And they're all just sheepishly getting back into their car because these out-of-state, out-of-town pieces of shit have no idea what they're doing here. And you can see here, like, the smoke starts rising because even though they were under no threat whatsoever, they just start throwing out tear gas. Also, just shout out to this woman in a tank top who just, like, jumped out to, like, scream at ICE and, like, tell them to fuck off in the middle of winter. And then they drive off. These pieces of shit. They drive off, obscuring the entire intersection, potentially causing crashes and collisions. They are not here to protect us. They are here to try and occupy us and cow us into submission. That is what they are here to do. And these people who are running, they're all running because they've done the training. They are legal observers who have done the trainings, and they are running towards the whistle sounds so that they can be legally observing other ICE raids in the area. Because, again, ICE is so heavy in these areas of town, again, predominantly queer areas of town, that like people are just running from one ICE stop to another as they try and disappear more and more people. And like there are some moments where the community can show up. There are also some moments where the community can't, or any kind of response is delayed. Here is footage purporting to be ICE going door to door in Minneapolis from yesterday, ignoring requests for a warrant and coming in guns drawn. Here is an ICE raid on a home with children present in my city.
Where's the warrant? Where's the warrant? Where is it? Can you put the guns down, though? Can you put the guns down? There's kids.
Like, this is how they're going door to door here in Minneapolis, okay? In the parts of the town where they feel like they can get away with it, in predominantly working class portions of the city, they are just coming in, guns fully drawn, like they're about to burst into like fucking Scarface's penthouse. It is Gestapo Nazi shit. When we compare them to the Nazis and the Gestapo, it isn't an accident and it's not hyperbole. They are showing up, pointing guns in people's houses and at people's kids.
Kids in this house. There is kids in this house. Show the warrant first. Show the warrant. Show the warrant.
And I cannot stress this enough, if ICE shows up at your house, do not open the door for them, even to try and, like, if they're trying to hand you a warrant, have them slide it under the door. I'm sorry, do not, under any circumstance, open the door for these clowns.
No, my daughter's here!
JD is the reason why they're doing door-to-door, because he mentioned it? I mean, it's also because they're fascist clowns. It's because they're all, the only time they all stop sucking each other's dicks is when they have to go and do a violence on the community.
There's kids in this house, that's it. Where's the warrant? Where's the warrant? Where's the warrant? He just checked in. Why did they get in when he checked in? Why are y'all here? Get the paper. Please get the paper. He's not coming out. He's not coming out until my fucking see it. He's not coming out. My daughter's here. That's a dog. My daughter's here. That's a dog. Shoot my fucking dog. This is illegal. This is fucking. Where's the warrant? You should have the paper before you hit the door. That don't matter nothing. You come with a warrant. You do have to show a warrant. You guys see this all on live. He said he doesn't have to show a warrant. There's nobody in here but my babies. Sugar, stay in your room and shut the door. Sis, I'm not even touching nobody. Get your hands off of me. I can record. I can record. I am back. Get your hands off of me. I'm not in your way and I'm not stopping nothing. You're also not checking to see who's in this house. Get your hands off of me. Get your hands off of me. I don't give a fuck about your taser. Get your hands off of me. Oh, you're real big and bad. Where's the warrant? So you
understand, like, all of these people who are participating in this, they're doing it because they have a lot of sexual and insecurity. This is effectively an extraordinarily expensive form of gender-affirming care for these men. Like, they are doing this because they are woefully inadequate, and they love the idea of brutalizing others to make themselves feel big. These pieces of shit.
Can't answer, but you can flash a light.
Like, this guy's just showing up to threaten her with a taser to make himself feel like a big man. You know, like all these wife-beating pieces of shit.
Where's the warrant? Where? Where is the warrant? Back up. Back up, because he's asking me to do something, so now you back up. Can you tell him to back up with this taser? She's in her room, sis.
Why you bending my fucking hand like a box?
Just absolutely disgusting. There are women in ICE? Yeah, well, they suffer from the same fucking issue. You know, look, I don't make the rules. Some people need to feel like big men, even if they're ladies, all right? Here, ICE is abducting a child who was at work at Target.
Jonathan Aguilar Garcia. I'm literally a U.S. citizen. I'm literally a U.S. citizen. Get the fuck out of here, Ice.
Why are you kidnapping our citizens?
Wow.
Why are you?
This guy right here, they let him out of the vehicle. They tortured him.
This guy?
This guy right here, yeah. Torture. You okay, man? No, I'm not okay. Bro, shit's crazy. My man's bleeding. They slammed me on the ground. We gotta be able to call somebody. This is ridiculous. You got family around? You got somebody here, man? I think my girl. Come on, we in here. Come on, man. You work here, don't you? No, I work at Target. You work, bro? Come on, bro. It's okay. That is so crazy. Man, slam this man up in the parking lot. Jonathan Aguilar Garcia.
This is a child. This kid is 17 years old. They came into his workplace, abducted him, beat him bloody and senseless, and then dropped him off in a Walmart parking lot, beaten and bloodied. This is what ICE is doing in this town. They are just driving around abducting people who look Latino, who look Hispanic. Doesn't matter if they're kids. Then they torture them, even if they're U.S. citizens, and then drop them off someplace else. You know, if they aren't going to bring them all the way to detainment. When we talk about the need to prosecute every ICE agent, this is every fucking ICE agent, man. Every fucking ICE agent. Why isn't Target headquarters coming out against this? Funny you should ask that, Johnny Ramo. I don't know the answer to it, but I do know that apparently, Target has been allowing ICE to stage in their parking lots. So a lot of the raids in Targets that have been reported across the city for the past weekend are because ICE is being allowed to use Target parking lots in Minnesota to do their shit. And folks, if you are angry about that, as I am, here is a really handy article from last year about how to talk to a real customer service representative from Target. If you would like to tell them that you do not, in fact, care for how they are allowing ICE to stage in their parking lots, if you would like to clog up their phones in order to voice your concerns about this, by all means, do so. You have that right. Additionally, folks, if you are at all interested in doing some extra calls, one could come on over and guess what? You can actually call each and every store in the Minneapolis area. You can call every single one and talk to the manager at every single one and see why are they allowing ICE to stage in the parking lots. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. If anyone is wondering why ICE is being allowed to stage in their parking lots, you can ask them yourself. Oh, I know what I'm doing tomorrow? Excellent plan. You know, call their corporate headquarters, see what's up. Call their local stores, see what's up. Because it is evil what they are allowing to have happen here in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Here is a video of an ICE officer in Minneapolis pushing a man in front of a goddamn bus. Now, you'll notice here where he got pushed and where that bus is. That bus stopped just in time before it hit that guy. Prosecute every member of ICE. That is a fucking attempted murder. That man tried to kill that guy. That's what's happening here in Minneapolis. ICE is here trying to kill people, pushing them in front of buses, beating up children. For a lot of my Hispanic and Latina neighbors, like they are not okay right now. It is not safe for them to go outside right now. Because anyone who looks queer, anyone who's remotely inconveniencing them that they just happen to be upset at, they feel entitled right now to try and kill you.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You're just trying to fucking kill him! An ICE officer is trying to kill an innocent citizen! Fucking Nazi, bitch!
Absolutely disgusting. Don't ever let anyone gaslight you into being like, oh, they're just doing their jobs. They're just doing their jobs. Oh, no, you don't understand. They're keeping you safe. No, they're not. Here is a guy, 2 days ago, an ICE agent being talked to by a protester.
Shame on you.
Listen, have y'all not learned from the past couple of days? Have you not learned?
Learned what? What's our lesson here? What do you want us to learn?
Following federal agents.
Give me my phone.
They're trying to say we'll kill you too. They're trying to be big and tough, and they're trying to threaten people to say, if you don't listen to us, we're going to kill you too. The fuck is that supposed to mean? We're going to kill you. Here is some local reporting that I want to share with you guys from the local news station. Yeah, they're here to keep you safe. That's why they're threatening people.
Homeland Security has said that there were more than 1,500 arrests by ICE in its latest enforcement surge that's been happening, of course, all across the metro. That doesn't include, though, the protesters that have been taken into custody recently. Our Jessica Hart spoke with a pastor about his brief experience, and he was detained, right, Jess?
Yeah, that's right, Jennifer. I talked with Reverend Kenny Callahan, who was detained on the day Renee Good was shot and killed by an ICE agent. Reverend Kenny was on his way into work at All God's Children Metropolitan Community Church when he saw a large crowd on Portland. He parked his car at his church, walked 3 blocks, and saw several ICE agents. At the time, he didn't know what was going on, but he saw several ICE agents approach a Hispanic woman who he says was all alone. Callahan says the woman told agents she wasn't afraid, and then he told ICE agents to take him instead. Moments later is when the crowd learned of the deadly shooting. He says an ICE agent approached him and asked, "Are you afraid?" Callahan said no. And then he says the agent pointed a gun in his face and handcuffed him and put him into an SUV.
And then a few moments later, they came back and they said, "Are you afraid yet?" And I said, "No." And then they said it. "Well, you're white. You wouldn't be fun anyway." And then I was shocked, because if I hadn't seen enough, it was then that I knew that this staging, that these ICE raids are really about fear and intimidation.
He says the agents also asked him for his cell phone and ID, which he didn't give them. Callahan says they let him go after about 30 minutes, and his experience hasn't deterred him from protesting again. He says he wasn't handcuffed for long and that ICE agents didn't give him a reason as to why he was detained.
Okay, Jessica Hart in our newsroom tonight. Thank you.
Did they actually say that? I don't know. Who are we to believe? Are we to believe the ICE agents who are brutalizing children and trying to kill members of the public, or are like a hardworking local member of the cloth who doesn't appear to have any motivation whatsoever to lie? Did they actually say that? There are a lot of reports of people saying very similar things. ICE is not subtle about their hatred. Here is another here is someone that Status Quo News was able to interview, and interviewed after she got out of custody. Let's take a look at this.
They said, "Have you not learned? This is why we killed that lesbian bitch."
Can you tell us what happened to you?
So first off, I'm a United States Marine veteran. We were following them from a safe distance.
Following ICE agents?
Yep, following ICE agents. They stopped in the middle of the road and reversed on 62. They tried to ram our car. They broke my window. They yanked me out by my neck. They threw me to the ground. They stomped on me. They pushed my face into the ground. They put the cuffs on as tight as possible to the point where it took 6 agents to try to get them off.
Okay, so they break the window, they haul you out, they're stomping on you, they're beating you. As they're doing this, are they saying anything?
Yeah, they were calling me a bunch of derogatory names, calling me it. They tried to break my ankle. When he turned my ankle all the way around, I screamed, and he said, "Yeah, I bet you like that, don't you?" I took an oath, and it's the oath that they're spitting on and stomping on, and this isn't Germany. They're Nazis, they're Gestapo. They think that they're above the law. They don't care.
What was your intention when you're out there following them? Are you out there to document what they're doing, to warn your friends and neighbors? Is that that ICE is in your neighborhood? Like, is that what you were out there to do?
They shot my neighbor in the face this week. That's what I'm out there to prevent.
Is that Bella Ciao playing in the background? Yes. I mean, it's not terribly baffling. They're fascists. They've been actively recruited from white nationalist communities. They're not, like, it's not that confusing. There's a $100 million recruitment effort specifically geared towards grabbing these folks. One of the stories that I was going to cover and just got lost in the milieu was that the Department of Homeland Security has been using a song that is associated highly with essentially neo-Nazi communities, and it's something like "We'll have a home again" or something. Yeah, we'll have our home again. We'll have our home again. This was also posted on Instagram with a video component, and oh hey, "By God, We'll Have Our Home Again" is a white nationalist song sung to the tune of "Rolling Down to Old Maui," a 19th century sea shanty. Its lyrics are most often credited to a U.S. fraternal neo-Nazi group. It was adapted as the official theme song of the Canadian Diagolon movement. But also, just want to emphasize this. Yeah, it's related to a group called the Männerbund, which is a German term for men's league. And as you can start to imagine from the fact that it's a German phrase for men's league and specifically derives from neo-Nazi groups adopting it, one could potentially just say the exact target demographic of who they want joining ICE is neo-Nazis. Like, that's specifically the issue here. Just worth pointing out here that it is somewhat international in its nature. MMA gym owners coaches ID'd at secretive neo-Nazi event in British Columbia. Experts say event exemplifies worrying overlap between martial arts and extremism. Held at the Scottish Cultural Centre in the city's South End, the event was organized by a group called Exiles of the Golden Age and discussed the formation of Männerbunds. One of the group's social media accounts, they described these as disciplined groups of men who can rebuild our world amidst the coming wreckage. Again, if you see a local group talking about the need to form a Männerbund, they're fucking Nazis. It's really awful. And one of the few articles I'm actually seeing talk about this particular thing comes from this smallish website, the Jewish News of Northern California. By blood and sweat, we'll get there yet. From California to DC, disparate far-right factions are unified by anger. Wearing a black cowboy hat and a bandana covering most of his face, Odin, a soft-spoken Proud Boys member, was getting choked up. He stood on a flatbed truck in Sacramento last November outside the state capitol building, its colonnades a vibrant cream behind him on a crystal-clear afternoon. "We put ourselves on the line to protect you," he said into a microphone in front of more than 100 Trump supporters waving MAGA and American flags. It was a Stop the Steal rally, one of the many since the election. A sign behind him read, "Count all votes." Another said, "BLM, ballot laws matter." The stage was full of fellow Proud Boys, a chauvinist group the ADL describes as far-right and extremist. Odin, a pseudonym, introduced the song "We'll Have Our Home Again," a popular ballad on YouTube associated with the Mannerbund, a white separatist ethno-nationalist men's club. The Proud Boys sang off-key, clapping and beating an open hand against their chests. "When there's nothing left but the fire in my chest and the air that fills my lungs, I'll hold my tears and trade my years for a glimpse at kingdom come. By God, we'll have our home again. By God, we'll have our home again. By blood and sweat, we'll get there yet. By God, we'll have our home again." They're talking about doing an ethnic cleansing. That's how they mean the song. That's who they're actively trying to solicit to join ICE. Luckily, all of these people, these high quality folks that they are openly soliciting from their Timu KKK outfits across the South, luckily they don't actually know how to deal with real ICE like we have here in Minnesota. Just a little clip for you all to appreciate how these dipshits don't understand where they're at. Which should, by the way, be obvious from the fact that they're wearing fucking military camo in the middle of goddamn winter, where they all stick out like sore thumbs. But, look at him go!
Pussy! Fucking pussy! Fucking pussy! Yeah, fucking pussy!
I want to really emphasize something here, which is that these people are all deeply misogynistic losers. Even if they happen to be women in ICE, they're misogynistic. And when they get called pussies, especially after they fuck up like that, it actually hits home. You notice there was nothing that physically turned him around. It was just his own goddamn shame that turned him around and made him trot back to his car. All right? Like, these people cannot take an actual affront to their fragile idea of masculinity or what it means to be, like, competent at something. It is very funny, to be honest. Yeah, let's watch it again.
Pussy! Fucking pussy! Fucking pussy! Yeah, fucking pussy!
Meanwhile, the president is trying to say that if you disrespect law enforcement, they have the ability to murder you. And I think that is a call to disrespect them more, as long as you're safe. I mean, like, this is where organizing's at here in Minneapolis right now. This is outside the ICE building.
You are invaders! There are neighbors! You're invaders! There are neighbors! You're invaders! There are neighbors! You're invaders! There are neighbors! Bye-bye, Nazi! Bye-bye, Nazi! That's a joke! Move back! That's right! Back the fuck up! Fucking ground shirts! You are in.
Like, people turning out. People turning out. And good for them. Fuck ICE. I wanted to play this for you guys real quick.
Members reporting ICE terrorizing students in St. Paul, Bloomington, Columbia Heights, Burnsville, Fridley, Richfield, West St. Paul, Osseo, and Apple Valley. We have seen ICE agents in Roseville circling school property, just waiting for families to pick up their children.
142 kids didn't come to school yesterday. We're just a tiny elementary. The ICE agents, one did pull into the parking lot, and they know they can't, so they were asked to leave. but they stand on the other side of the street. Our schools are in neighborhoods. So we know they're there, the teachers know they're there, and they are circling.
Since arriving, ICE has been a dangerous and out of control force, putting every Minnesotan in danger. A mother was murdered. An elementary school was forced to lock down. Grown men used pepper spray on terrified high school students on school property.
Schools must be places of safety, learning, and belonging. This is not a partisan issue. It's a moral one.
Yeah, they're trying to saturate every area of the Twin Cities. It's really, really bad. And I do want to echo the words that this is from Ryan Broderick, who runs the Substack Garbage Day. And I'm going to link this in the chat for all of you to read if you have the time. But I wanted to highlight one part of this that, resonated with me and bears repeating. ICE agents are, simply put, fucking clowns. According to The Atlantic, they received 47 days of training in honor of Trump, the 47th president. Naturally. Many of them also can barely read or write, apparently. The ones I spent the weekend following around didn't even have proper uniforms, with some wearing sneakers. In Minnesota, in January. These dipshits are also wearing camo in the snow. They clearly do not have any training when it comes to their own weapons either. Multiple times over the last few days, I watched officers fire pepper spray balls at the feet of protesters barely a few inches away from them. These weapons are basically paintball guns full of concentrated pepper spray, so when they hit a target, they explode into the air, which meant ICE agents regularly ended up poisoning themselves with their own weapons. I also watched 2 ICE agents ask each other if a canister they were about to fire into the crowd was tear gas or a stun grenade. Ended up being a stun grenade that then ignited the tear gas they had already shot at us, which started a fire in the street that a protester had to help them put out. These people are stupid pieces of shit, and they're here to brutalize us to make spectacle. Guys, I cannot emphasize enough that part of the main reason they're here is as a goddamn PR campaign. Some of these ICE agents have camera crews following them around so they can do propaganda for the Trump administration. It is just essentially a wide-scale operation to make people afraid so they can get their clicks on social media. That's it. That's it. They are killing people. They are beating children. They are disappearing folks so that they can get their clicks on goddamn Twitter. Genuinely monstrous to a degree I have never seen. Here is another interview that Status Coup did, worth repeating here.
We were trying to defend our neighbors and our community, keep our community safe, and ICE said that we were obstructing their operation, even though there were no cars. We were not in an active raid. There were no cars ahead of them. We were just behind them, and they said that we were obstructing. Before they arrested us, an agent came and sprayed pepper spray into the vent of our car, even though we had not done anything. We had not done anything. Nothing. And then they came back, broke the windows, took us out of the car, arrested us, and then the driver of the car, the same one that sprayed the pepper spray in, proceeded to say, you guys need to stop, obstructing us. That's why that lesbian bitch is dead. And they were talking about Renee Nicole Good. And I was speechless in the car. I didn't cry then, but I cried once I got in there, and I've been telling everybody in there that that's what happened.
I mean, guys, they're just openly admitting that, yeah, you know what? We're gonna kill you just like we killed that queer bitch, that lesbian bitch. The through line here is misogyny, because they all hate women. They all just want to beat up on women. And they also hate gay people, which is why a lot of the operations, again, their main goal here isn't to actually round up people. They don't that's not their purpose here. Their purpose here is to instill fear. It's why they're targeting queer areas of town, and they're, detaining queer couples or queer people, or people that they think might be gay. They want to, pursue their bigotry. They want to violate the law and make people afraid. It's really awful. It's reaching a breaking point, honestly. Yeah, like, it's hard to really, like, I know we've been looking at this for like the last hour here, guys, but it's really hard to emphasize the level of anger and the level of restraint that people in Minnesota and Minneapolis have been exercising over the last several days, because it's been escalating. It's been escalating behavior. I mean, it's getting worse. Here is something that happened earlier today. Homeland Security is pledging to put more than 2,000 immigration officers into Minnesota. It says it has made more than 2,000 arrests. I believe perhaps they have arrested 2,000 people. I don't believe a significant number of those people are going to be charged with anything. ICE, this is one of our local politicians, Jason Chavez. ICE rammed into a car at 34th and Park and then began to question the immigration status of the U.S. citizen Latinos that they crashed into. They also deployed chemical irritants into the eyes of the press. Abolish ICE now. Again, members of the press getting sprayed in the face. Here you have, again, you can see they tear gassed an intersection, a different intersection. They're just tear gassing random intersections on the street. I know this area of town. I drive by here all the time. This is near where I live. Infuriating. Here is the damage that ICE did to U.S. citizens' car. But they will crash into your car and then rough you up, even if you're a U.S. citizen, because they think you look like you are not from around these parts, as they themselves come from several hundred miles away out of state. These cowardly pieces of weak-ass garbage. Yeah, it's weird how ICE has been weaponizing their vehicles, huh? Here is the footage from 35th and Park.
Hey, don't run! Don't run! Do not run! Do not run! What the fuck?
They gas the intersection, just start shooting, unloading into the crowd. With their fucking look at this guy. Look at this weak ass little bitch. Has to fully cover his face because he's too cowardly to stand by his work. It was revealed today that apparently Jonathan Ross, the man who murdered Renee Good, told his neighbors he was a botanist because he was so goddamn ashamed that he worked for ICE, that he had to make up a different job. These pieces of shit. Yeah, do you think this is keeping anybody safe when they ram into a car and then shut down an entire intersection, making it completely unnavigable because so much gas is in the air? These people are not here to keep us safe. Are those paintball guns? No, those are pepper ball guns, which effectively act as paintball guns, but for pepper spray. Additionally here, folks, I need you all to understand that there's a large number of indigenous people that live here in Minnesota, and in Minneapolis in particular. And the Minnesota DFL had to put out a statement to condemn ICE because ICE has been targeting indigenous people. Native American Caucus condemns ICE's detainment and racial targeting of Native Americans. Native peoples are indigenous to this country, existing on this continent for thousands of years before the colonization of this nation, rendering deportation impossible and absurd. Native Americans are citizens by law, history, and treaty. We demand an immediate halt to ICE operations for good, an end to the discriminatory practices, and a comprehensive, transparent investigation of ICE and its accomplices across the system. Nobody is illegal on stolen land. We echo calls from the community to tribal and urban Native leaders to rise up and declare ICE is not welcome and has no authority on any tribal or urban Native lands, businesses, or other entities. We are strongest when we act in solidarity, loudly and clearly, rooted in our identity as first peoples of this land. The original caretakers who understand what it means to be good relatives. Together, we can and will protect the safety and well-being of our people and homelands. And this statement was put out specifically because members of the Oglala Sioux and the Red Lake Nation were targeted and detained by ICE and disappeared. Members of different indigenous communities have been getting pulled aside or disappeared into detention systems by ICE. It has been disgusting. It doesn't really put enough emphasis on it. Here is the lieutenant governor of Minnesota who's running for Senate, talking about the situation right now. She is also indigenous.
I want to make sure that we first start out, which is acknowledging what is happening in our state right now. Whew. On the drive up here, we saw ICE agents that had pulled some folks over. We were just in the community of Alexandria, where the event that we had that was similar to this one was interrupted by a bunch of phones going off and people having to leave because they are trained legal observers. And ICE was at a local restaurant and also at a construction site. So this is not just happening in the Twin Cities, right? This is happening across the state of Minnesota, and it's not okay. And we have to continue to use our voices. Right now, as we speak, there are 5,000 people in Powderhorn Park in South Minneapolis. There are peaceful protests happening all across the country. And that is one of the most powerful tools in our toolbox right now. Being trained legal observers. I don't know if anybody's gone through that training here. If you have, I appreciate it and would encourage you to do so. Because we're hearing more and more from the Trump administration that they're pretty upset that folks are documenting and getting in their way. We still have a democracy, and those are the tools in our toolbox that we get to use. And so I know that things feel really hard and heavy, and I could not start our time together without acknowledging this reality.
She's been doing a really good job going around the state and rallying folks. Yeah, Laura Takiwi Burb. Yeah, we were going to visit America, but being indigenous and seeing what's happening to Native Americans, we aren't visiting anytime soon. Probably a smart move. Anani asks, so who is housing these thugs? Who is feeding them? Who are the collaborators? I don't know who's feeding them. I was wondering that earlier today myself. But I do know that many of them are staying in various Hilton hotels. I know one that was identified early on was the Canopy in Minneapolis, was housing ICE agents. If y'all would like to call them, you are more than welcome. Put pressure on Canopy in Minneapolis. But there are a number of Hilton-aligned properties that are putting up ICE agents. I don't know if they have additional places that they are staying, but that's what I know at the moment. Brutus Magnuson, I think they're wondering like where people are, where like they're sleeping. You know, where are they laying their heads down at night? Because frankly, like no business should ever do business with ICE knowingly. The fact that Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, or Home Depot and Target are at all complicit with this is horrifying. I will say, though, that one of the things that gives me hope is that this community is not taking this laying down, and that not just like politically involved folks like you or me are getting involved, but also religious leaders. Here is from a couple days ago, and I think this says a lot. about the quality of local religious leaders here in Minneapolis.
I have told the clergy of the Episcopal Diocese of New Hampshire that we may be entering.
Also, again, Episcopal Diocese of New Hampshire, not Minneapolis, want to be clear, but people are standing up. We saw earlier that priest who was detained in the back of a ICE vehicle, threatened with a gun multiple times, standing up. Folks are doing their damnedest to fight back. And I, for one, even though I'm many states away, appreciate this show of solidarity during a vigil for Renee Good. Okay?
Entering into that same witness. And I've asked them to get their affairs in order, to make sure they have their wills written. Because it may be that now is no longer the time for statements, but for us with our bodies to stand between the powers of this world and the most vulnerable. I have told.
I don't know. I respect that. I respect that a lot. You know, like when religious leaders actually put their money where their mouth is and actually stand up for folks who are being marginalized and oppressed and targeted by violence and put themselves between those targets and, as they said, the power of this world. It's powerful stuff. I want to say this is another good sign right here, and this is local to Minneapolis. They're losing the normies. You know, like all of this is so beyond the pale that it's breaking through into the wider public, and it's impossible to ignore if you're local. And they're losing the normal people who don't pay attention to politics usually. And that is a very, very good sign. Here is an interview Zateo did with one guy in Minneapolis who I think represents the normal guy who doesn't care about politics demographic perfectly.
I don't like ICE. I don't like Trump. I don't like the lady that's in charge of ICE. I don't like our vice president. I can't say I'm a Democrat. I can't say I'm a Republican. I'm a real person, you know, and I speak the truth. I've always spoke the truth. I'm an guy. I will tell you like it is. And Trump's a big allowing this to happen, saying that she is the problem. Why don't you come down here and meet the neighbors that she lived here by and talk to them and see how she actually was, and then tell me that she was the problem.
Genuinely, like, that's like the most normal guy you could possibly imagine. And like they've lost them. They've lost him, which is, again, kind of beside the point for them, because their entire goal is recruitment of fascists. To them, it doesn't matter if they've lost the normal guy. But I do think in the long term, it matters. And I think stuff like this also really matters. Here is Doc Rivers talking about the murder of Renee Good.
You know, what happened in Minnesota was a straight up murder, in my opinion. And it's awful. You know, this lady was probably trying to go home and she didn't make it home, and that's really sad. So the whole ICE thing it's a travesty. You know, it's clearly, to me, we're attacking brown people. And I just happen to be brown. And I don't think it should just be brown people who are upset at this. I think we all have to be. I don't care what side of this thing you are on politically. What's going on in our country right now is absolutely wrong as far as the race stuff. The politics, I'm not going to get into. The race stuff I will, and it's just wrong, and we have to do something. But the only thing we can do right now is keep speaking up, because it doesn't seem like they care. And that's troublesome. Last thing I'm going to say, because I don't want to stay on this, but I could. I keep thinking about kids. And when I grew up, the president was always the role model. And I think about that and the effect of being a bully, lying. How is that good for our kids? And that worries me for our future. So I'll stop there.
I want, for those of you who don't follow sports, Doc Rivers was a longtime NBA player. He was considered pretty good. And he is currently a head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks over in Wisconsin. And far be it from me to praise a rival sports team, but he's doing good work over there and is considered one of the greatest NBA coaches of all time. So this man coming out and saying what he's saying here matters. It matters a lot. It matters especially to the folks, like for the folks who don't pay attention to politics. You know? It matters a lot. And when we're talking about the need to galvanize public support against this administration, a guy saying something like that pushes the needle so goddamn much. It's a real act of bravery. And I appreciate that. That's how you reach the normies, indeed. And I just wanna like end this on something of a good note here, which is, here is the outpouring of support when folks on basically like a less than 24-hour notice, 48-hour notice maybe, put out the call for folks to organize in Minneapolis. Here is Powderhorn Park. You know, I think we're gonna be okay, folks. I think this level of effort from the Trump administration to try and bring out the worst responses from this community have failed thus far. I think this level of unity, this level of coordination, this level of widespread resistance, to the extent that ICE can pull up on a busy street corner and instantly be covered with like 30 different observers immediately pulling out their phones and blowing whistles, summoning folks from other parts of the city. They can't win this. They can't keep this up. Like right now, they still don't have the recruitment numbers in order to do this. And I want to highlight some very critical reporting from Ken Klippenstein, which is ICE internally is a lot more freaked out than what is being leaked out to the public so far. Immigration agents terrified of ICE backlash after shooting. Leaked documents show Border Patrol needs volunteers for Minneapolis surge. Here you have this fascist piece of shit who's like, I don't know, 5 foot, LARPing as a fucking fascist commando. Here we have well, Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem and others in the administration preen about justifying last week's shooting and trumpet their war on domestic terrorism. DHS privately divided and hesitant about the latest deployments. According to documents leaked to me, not only is the department seeking volunteers for the apparent unpopular mission, it is urging its agents to maintain a low profile and comply with the use of force policies. I.e., they're really fucking worried about where this is going. They had to put this out. Be mindful of OPSEC and officer safety. Do not wear your uniform or any piece of your uniform when entering or exiting your hotel. Do not display any Border Patrol or law enforcement insignia on your belongings. Do not divulge meeting, staging, or operation location. Do not divulge anything related to operations. Be mindful of what you post on social media. Turn off your location settings and set page to private. Always employ situational awareness. Yeah, on Friday, DHS sought volunteers to deploy to Minneapolis, in part due to opposition within the ranks. According to Border Patrol, agents, and other Homeland Security workers who have reached out to me. Please begin canvassing your personnel for volunteers. A memo sent by Border Patrol's Acting Assistant Chief Joshua Andrew Post on Friday. The memo outlines a request for 300 additional personnel, 200 Border Patrol agents, and 100 processing coordinators to be funneled into Operation Metro Surge by January 11th. A Border Patrol agent familiar with the discussions said the volunteer push reflects real unease in the ranks about the good shooting in Minneapolis and the related surge. We do have personnel, but some just don't want to go, the agent told me. Asked about the hunt for volunteers, DHS and Customs and Border Patrol Border Protection did not respond to my request for comment. Quote, there might be some immature knuckleheads who think they're out there trying to capture Nicolas Maduro, but most field officers see a clear need for de-escalation. A high-level career official at Homeland Security headquarters in Washington also told me. There's a genuine fear that indeed ICE's heavy-handedness and the rhetoric from Washington is more creating a condition where the officers' lives are in danger rather than the other way around. Yeah, no shit. This is just, there is a video and she just lied. The Border Patrol agent said of Noam's characterization of the killing of Renee Good. God. They are not as unified internally as they are trying to present externally. And keep in mind, folks, keep being mean to them. Keep being verbally hostile to them because they're shook. And the more that morale can crack and break, the better off we'll all be. Oh, right, they are fucking cowards? Exactly. Through and through. And another thing to keep in mind, just keep it in the back of your skulls for a little bit, roll it around, see how it feels. These clowns have to be in service for multiple years before they are able to actually get all that money that was promised them. I don't know if you guys remember that, but the amount of time that they have to be in the service is several years. And a lot of these clowns cannot clear the baseline requirements. Background checks don't happen until after people start work, one official said, as HR rubber stamps applicants in days. Training was slashed from 16 weeks to 6, with sit-ups eliminated because recruits couldn't handle them. By December, 584 recruits had washed out, while 558 graduated and 620 remained in training. One HR chief suffered a stress-related fainting episode. That's where they're at right now, guys. Not even right now. That's where they were at in December. Okay? All those 50,000 flashy dollar bonuses, that's after they've been in the service for 5 years. They have to put up with this for another 5 years. These pussy-ass bitches aren't going to be able to cut that. Are you kidding me? They're cracking after a handful of days. They're not going to be able to handle this. No fucking way. Make them quit. Make them quit. Indeed. So, I don't know. I just find all of this heartening. And I think that when all of this is said and done, we are going to win. And I guess that's what I have to say about that. Let's end on a good note here. And I have obviously so much more to talk about on this subject, but we've been going for over 5 hours now, and I think it's time to wrap this up a little bit before I go on too long. But I will say, if you are as angry as I am that Target is allowing ICE agents to walk into their stores and just like arrest employees who are Latino and like beat and brutalize children who work there, consider, again, one last reminder, calling to speak with a real person at Target. You know, I think that is a good thing that we could all do because we're concerned about what Target is doing. And I think that if you are further motivated and have the time and energy, you can go and you can call each and every local store, local Target location. Look at all these places. Why, it would take a lot of people to call each and every one of them. But you know what? I think that perhaps we have enough people here for folks to call each and every one of them and put some pressure on those managers and on corporate, whichever is allowing ICE to stage. That's where we're at. Moreover, ICE must be destroyed. It must be, the earth beneath it must be salted so that it can never rise again. Every ICE agent must be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and, made to serve their time for the crimes that they have done. If they have pushed someone in front of a bus, if they have beaten and tortured a child, if they have illegally detained U.S. citizens, if they have engaged in cruel and unusual punishment, if they have denied assistance to those in need, if they have illegally broken into businesses or homes, if they have threatened civilians, each and every agent and bureaucrat must do their time. And that needs to be a rallying cry for our movement going forward. So, folks, if you want to help make that movement real, join your local Dems, join your local DSA, and make that a rallying cry. It is not enough for us to just know that that's what we want to do. We need to verbalize it, we need to organize towards it, and we need to show up for it, okay? It is not enough to just know it, we need to show up for it. So if you guys need help joining your local DSA, we got folks that are willing to help you do that in the Discord. Join the Discord. If you are willing to join your local Dems, join the Discord. We can help you do that. Dragonfly in the Discord can help you with your local Dems. Gamergy can help you with your local DSA. Let's all get involved as much as we can. Okay, folks? We need to do this shit. Because if we don't, this could rise again in our lifetimes. And I also want y'all to know, this isn't going to be isolated in Minneapolis. It's coming to all y'all soon. All right? There's a reason they have a $100 million recruitment campaign, and it's because they want to do this every damn place. So get fucking organized today. And, folks, last but not least, consider leaving a comment on the video. Comments longer than 8 words apparently help the videos do better. So please consider doing that on this one in particular. And remember to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. Consider becoming a member. And we'll have a whole lot more to talk about tomorrow because I over-prepped the segment. And we gotta talk about a lot more aspects of what is happening here. But I think this is a good note to end on, so let's keep on going, folks.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack.